What's up, everybody? Sting here, bringing you guys a video entitled How to Get a Rampant. And is that just ambitious and narcissistic as hell, or what? But I'm going to try, and I'm going to say that this one goes out to my friends and subscribers that have asked me, Sting, how do I get a Rampant? How do I get better? But not that I'm like Mr. Authority on the game or anything, but whatever. I've played a lot, and I have a decent amount of rampants. I have 62. There's a lot of players that have a lot more than I do. There's players that have a lot less. So I think I have the authority to offer my humble thoughts on what it takes to get a rampant. And I wish I could just message you guys on PSN, or make a message in the comments saying, oh, this is how you do it and this is how you get better, but alas, it's more complicated than that. So I've sort of comprised a list of things that I think go into being a good player, and in the hopes that it will just sort of inspire some thought and help players out there that are trying to get better, and so that they'll get more enjoyment out of the game. So the list is as follows: it's loadout, movement, sound, camera control, power weapon control, reaction time, aim, and map knowledge, and watching better players, and practice, and parties, whether or not you play in parties, and just raw talent. So the first one is loadout, and I think loadouts are a little bit overestimated. I think that loadouts are about 15% of your actual gameplay. I mean, they help; they're just there to sort of supplement and enhance your gameplay, but they don't really get kills for you. Obviously, it's important to think about and to choose the right loadout for your particular map or game mode. But ultimately, that's sort of secondary to just playing well and these other things that I'm going to discuss. So then there's the second one is movement, and I think what's important in thinking about movement is, as you can see in this match, I'm just sort of always on the move. Even when I'm sort of playing defensively, staying in one area, I'm always sort of moving back and forth, and always spinning around, and always ready for anything. And I think that that's important, because players will jump out at you and come at you from any direction. So you always want to be in this sort of state of fervent movement and agitation. That doesn't mean that you want to just run around like an idiot and just run into any position or any area. You want to play tight but aggressive, and by playing tight, I mean that you want to think about where you're moving and for what reason, and you want to make sure that you're not just flailing about, but that you're moving in an intelligent way. And next is sound. Oh, and also about movement. So the movement I'm referring to is sort of pub movement. Clan battles are a little different, and they're more campy, and you have to play a bit more defensively. So yeah, I'm basically referring to pubs. So sound, I feel like sound is important. Sound is basically your radar in Uncharted 3. If you don't have a headset, you need to get one. Invest the $40 or $50 if you're trying to get better, and get a headset, because it's really going to help to learn how to respond to sound. And in Uncharted 3, there's the climbing, there's the jumping, there's the footsteps, there's the gunfire. All these things. I mean, even subtle breaths will let you know where players are at. And take gunfire for example. If you respond to gunfire, assess this situation and go towards gunfire and respond to gunfire, you will go towards, one, it tells you where two players are at, and two, these two players are shooting at each other, so they're becoming weakened. So it's easy to pick up kills because they're distracted and they're also being weakened by other players. So you can usually get easy kills by just responding to gunfire. And even if you show up late to the party, somebody has died and the other player is typically weakened and distracted because they were just in a gunfight. So yeah, that's that. Then there's camera control. And camera control, I think, plays into sound. You always want to have the camera pointed towards where you think the action is, or where the action is going on, or where you anticipate players coming from. A lot of times I see inexperienced players, and they just sort of keep the camera pointed in front of them. There could be gunfire, movement, activity going on around them, but they just keep the camera pointed towards a different direction. So you just want to always listen for activity and keep the camera pointed where that activity is going on, or where you anticipate other players coming from. Then there's power weapon control. The power weapons spawn every 3 minutes. As you can see in this match, I'm controlling the T-bolt and the shotgun. So yeah, it's important to do that. It not only enables you to get more kills, it will keep the power weapons out of the other team's hands, so you will die less frequently, because if the other team controls the power weapons, you're probably going to die from them. So you always want to control them. And Power Hunter is an underrated booster. If you don't know where power weapons are, wear that thing and learn where they are, and always go for them at the start of a match, or always challenge for them at the start of a match. And again, they spawn every 3 minutes, so keep an eye on the clock, and if you pick one up, make a note of the time and be back to that same spot in 3 minutes, and there will be another power weapon there for you, and that definitely helps. So then there's reaction time and aim. These things, just come with practice. If you try to move quickly and accurately, you will learn to move quickly and accurately the more you play. In terms of aim, I feel like co-op has helped me a great deal in terms of improving my aim, because there's hundreds of targets coming at you, and you just learn to spot a target and take it down with accuracy. So if you're trying to work on your aim, I would recommend going into co-op, and just the repetition of seeing a target and taking it down will help you to be accurate and also quick. And then there's map knowledge. By map knowledge, I'm just referring to basically traffic patterns and the way that players move. Obviously map knowledge encompasses power weapons as well, knowing where the power weapons are. But you need to learn where players spawn. What the areas are that people try to control. Like here, people always control the T-bolt areas. For example, on Syria, people always want to control the top T-bolt area. So knowing that, you can put yourself in a good position to control that area, or challenge people that are trying to control that area. And then there's watching better players. I've learned a lot just by being on YouTube and watching players that have more experience than I do, that are better than I am. Watching the good clans, that's where I learned the whack and roll. That's where I learned the bank and boom, the jump and throw. You just watch better players and, think about, hey, why did they do that? Or, what's that about? And then, just try to implement that into your own game. And, then there's practice. And by practice, obviously, the more you play, the better you're going to get. But I think, there's practice with a purpose. And if you ask yourself before you start a match, or before you start playing, what am I weak at? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Am I good with the T-bolt? Do I throw grenades well? Do I jump and throw well? Do I bank and boom well? And then, you can go into a custom game and practice those things. Or if you need to, work on your T-bolt sniping, you can, make an effort to use the T-bolt. So you always want to assess, like, hey, what are the strengths of my game? What are the weaknesses? And then, not being afraid to acknowledge that and to work on the areas that, that you're weak on. And then there's whether or not you play in parties. So my theory on parties is thus: if I want to get a rampant, I don't play in parties. If I want to win games, I usually play in parties. The reason being, if you play in parties with good players, there's not going to be enough kills going around, and because everyone's going to be dead, and it's going to be hard to get a rampant because your teammates are getting a lot of kills, and there's not going to be 20 kills for you to get. So if you really want to get that rampant, you should probably play alone, or play in a party of players that aren't that good. But if you want to win games, you want to play in parties with good players. So I guess it's good to mix it up. And then there's just raw talent. I mean, the reality is in life, you have two players that play the same amount and practice the same amount, and one player will be better than the other because some players are just, gifted at playing games or doing whatever. But that's not to say I think everyone with effort and thought and practice can become a good player, but not everyone can become a great player, and that's just the reality, and that's okay. So that's the list, guys. If you think that, or if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. If I didn't elaborate enough on a certain point, please ask me. If you think I'm just a tryhard that doesn't know anything, please let me know that as well, and let me know why you think that, or what you think that I said that was wrong. And yeah, that's about it. So again, I hope this helped you guys just to think about things, and to it'll just help you just improve even just a little bit. Let's see, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I go 32-0 in this match. The cinema says that I was playing against complete noobs, but I think that there's a glitch, and everyone was at least first legacy in this match. So don't hate, but you can hate if you want, but just go easy on me. 32-0 is 32-0. So anyway, guys, that's about all I have to say. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And again, thanks so much for watching, guys, again. And yeah, peace and love. Catch you next time.
Villains win.